So today concept is about combining data sets. Okay. Today concept is combining data sets. When we are combining data sets, as in we can combine the data sets in two ways. One is horizontally and one is vertically. Okay. Today we'll see how to combine the data sets vertically, and tomorrow we'll see how to combine the data sets horizontally. Combining data sets horizontally we call as the merges. Okay, merging the data. And combining data sets vertically we call as stacking. Okay, we call as stacking, interleaving, okay, and appending. Okay, combining data sets vertically we call as stacking, interleaving, and appending. We'll see all these three today, and also we'll see two more statements called update. Okay, update statement, and also we'll see modify. Okay, update and modify. These are the two statements that we'll see today. Okay. Now, first we'll start with the stacking. Okay. Coming to this stacking, stacking is nothing but just joining the data vertically as it is. For suppose we'll take an example. So placing the data after another data set. That's it. Okay. Okay. So here we have two data sets called DM1 and the other data set called as DM2. And here the variables are PID and age, and here the variables are PID, age, and visit. Okay. Now, so the first one is stacking, right? Stacking is nothing but, for suppose if you want to join DM1 and DM2, okay, which is nothing but first you want to place DM data, okay. So to DM data, you want to join this DM2 data, okay. So to this DM1 data, simply this DM2 data will come and join. That's it. Okay. So this is DM1 data and this is DM2 data. This we call as the stacking. Okay. So in order to get this output, how to write the program means data. Okay. So here what we are doing, to DM1 data, we want to join the DM2 data, right? So here which data set we want to change or modify? DM1, right? Already to the existing data that is there in DM1, we want to join this DM2 data. Okay. So we are changing DM1 data set. So data DM1. Okay. Next, by making use of this set statement, okay, we'll combine these two data sets. Set, okay, to DM1 data, you want to join DM2 data, right? So first write DM1 and then you list DM2 data set. Okay, and run. That's it. Clear? So it's not that you can join only two data sets. How many data sets that you want to join? List all the data sets here. Okay. Now check the work library. Check DM1. See, first three observations belong to DM1 and next five observations belong to DM2. Okay. So this is nothing but modifying the DM1 data set. Like to DM1 data, we are also adding DM2 data to this DM1 data. Now, here since we are making use of the data step, in data step what we can do? Using data step, what we can do? We can create the data sets or we can modify the existing data set, right? So here we are modifying the existing data set. If you want to create a new data set, you can also create a new data set, okay, called as DM. Suppose you want to create a new data set called DM, and in that you want to place first DM1 observations and then you want to place DM2 observations. Then write like this the program, okay. See, so first you are getting DM1 data and then you are getting DM2 data. Clear about stacking?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, no? Okay. Now here a small question. Here I want to modify the DM1 data set. Okay. Modify DM1 data set. So if you write the, if you run this program once, okay. Now what is the data that is present in DM1? Three observations, right? And what is the data that is present in DM2? these 5 observations. So if you run this program, what will happen? To this DM1 data, this DM2 data will attach, right? And this result is stored in which data set? DM1, because here you have given data DM1, right? So run this program. If you run this program once, this is the result that is stored in DM1, right? Now, if I run the same program again, can you tell me like what happens? Will you get the same output or will there be any change? So I have ran this program once, okay? So this is the result that is stored in DM1, right? So if you run this program for the second time again, will there be any change in the result or the result will remain same?
Yes, it will be changed.
Yes, it will be changing. Can you tell me like why? Yeah. So why it will be changing means what is the data that is present in DM1 after executing the program for first time? This is the data, right? So now
Right.
after executing, what is the current present result? This is the result. So now if you execute this program again, what is the existing result in DM1? This is the result, right? So to this DM1 data, again this DM2 data will keep attaching. Okay. So if you run the program again the data will be attached. Okay. So again, if you run the program again, what is the data that is present in DM1 already? This is the data, right? To this DM1 data, again the DM2 data will keep attaching. So make sure that if you are when stacking, if you are trying to modify the same data set, make sure you are running the program only once. How many times you run the program? That many times this DM2 data will keep adding to this DM1. Okay. Clear everyone?
Yes, Pavani.
Yes, no? Okay. Now, so this is stacking. Next, moving on to the interleaving. So through interleaving also you will get the same result. Okay, there will be no difference in result, but the only difference is here you will be making use of the by statement. Okay, so here you are just simply getting the result, right? First you are getting DM1 data and then you are getting DM2 data, right? Interleaving is nothing but, so you'll be making use of an additional statement called by. Okay, in this by statement, you'll give some reference variable. Okay, what is the common variable in both these data sets? Common reference variable. Okay, or else we can call as the primary key. What is the common reference variable or primary key variable? PID, right? Okay, so PID. Okay. So in the by statement, whatever variable that you give, by that statement, by that variable, it will sort the data and it will give you the output. You will get the same observations to the output, but you will get the data sorted by the variable PID. Okay. So 101, here you have another 101, right? So first you will get 101 data, then you will get 102, okay, 103, okay, 104 and 105. Okay. So like this, you'll get the data. You'll get the same data only, same observations you'll get to the output, but it will be sorted by the variable that you mention in this by statement. Okay. But whenever we use by statement, we have to sort the data, right? So proc sort data equals to both the data sets we have to sort. Okay. DM1 by what variable? PID, right? So by PID and run. Okay. DM2 by PID and run. Okay. Run the program. Check DM1. See, first you are getting 101, next 102, 3, 4, and 5. So data will be sorted by that variable. Okay, by PID variable. Clear about stacking and interleaving? In interleaving, you will make use of an additional statement called by. That's it. Okay. So here also, if you want to create a new data set, you can create a new data set. If you want to modify the data set, any existing data set, you can modify. Okay. Clear, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now the next one is appending. Okay. Moving on to the appending. Appending is also nothing but like joining the data sets vertically only. We'll get the same result, okay? As like stacking or interleaving, we'll get the same result. But the approach that the programming approach will be different, okay? Here, but for appending, we'll make use of the procedure called proc append, okay? Proc append data equals to. We'll give here the master dataset name, okay? And base equals to. Here we'll give the transaction dataset name. Enter and run. This is the program. That's it. Okay. Since here it is the proc step. Okay. In proc step we can't do any. We can't create new data sets, right? We can only modify the existing data set. Okay. Data equals to master dataset name and base equals to transaction dataset name. What is a master dataset? Means here we have the DM data, right? This is DM1 data and this is DM2 data, right? Okay. So for suppose into DM1 data set, if you want to combine this DM2 data, okay? I mean like here you want to change the DM1 data set, okay? How you want to change is like to this DM1 data, you want to attach the DM2 data set, okay? So the data set which you are changing, that comes under the master data set. And which data set, by using which data set data, you are changing the master data set, that you call as the transaction data set, okay? So here into DM1 data set, okay, into DM2 DM1 data, you are attaching the DM2 data, okay, which means you are changing DM1 data set. So that you call as the master data set. Give here master data set name. And which data set data you are attaching to this DM1? DM2, right? So that you call as the transaction data set. Okay. Now run the program. Okay. Now open DM1. Okay. So so it didn't change, right? So DM1 just remained the same. But normally you should attach the DM2 data. We'll see why it didn't attach. See here, variable visit was not found on the data file. What is the data file? Data file as in data equals to, we have given the data set name, right? That one. What is the data file? DM1. In DM1, what are the variables that we have? PID and age. And DM2, what are the variables we have? PID, age and visit. This visit variable is not there in DM1, but it is there in DM2, right? Which means this is the extra variable that is present in the transaction dataset. Okay. So here we have to understand that in master dataset, okay, if you have the extra variables also, not a problem. Okay. But in transaction dataset, you should not have any extra variables. Okay. Clear?
Yes, Pavani.
Yes. So now you try like ulta, like take DM2 as the master dataset. Because in master dataset, now you will be having extra variable visit, but in transaction dataset, you have all the variables that are present in the master dataset, right? So that shouldn't be a problem. Okay. DM1. Run the program. Check DM2. See, this is all your DM2 data and this is all your DM1 data. Okay. So in transaction data set, you should not have any extra variables. Okay. In master data set, you can have, not a problem. Okay. Or in other words, you can say that whatever variables that you have in your transaction data set, make sure that you have all that variables present in the master data set. Okay. Now, but in all the cases, there might be some cases where in your transaction dataset you will be having extra variables, where in master dataset you might not have, right? So it is not necessary that every time that should be the case. That is like the ideal case. But, if this is the case, see here in DM1 you have, only PID and age, and in DM2 you along with those two variables you have the extra variable visit, and this is your transaction data set and this is your master data set. Okay, so in this case how to append the data? Okay, means make whatever extra variables that you have in your transaction data set, drop all that variables by making use of the drop statement. Drop equals to what are the extra variable that is present in the transaction data set? Visit, right? So drop that variable. Okay. Now it will do the appending. Okay. So you drop the visit variable, right? Now check DM1. See what happened. Drop equals to visit. I'm sorry. Base equals to master data set. Okay. And data equals to transaction data set. Okay. Base equals to master data set and data equals to transaction data set. So right here DM1 and here data equals to DM2. Okay. So now check DM1. Okay. See, there is no visit variable and the appending is done. Okay. Now, every time dropping the variables will be a bit difficult, no? So here there is only one variable, so we have written drop and listed that variable name. But if you have like 10 or 12 variables or more than like more variables to drop, then it will be a bit difficult, no, to list all that variables. So here what you can do is you can make use of the option force. Okay. So what this force option will do is whatever extra variables or else like whatever variables that you have in the transaction data set and that are not there in the master data set. Okay. So it will drop all that particular variables. Okay. And it will do the appending. Clear? Hello?
Yes.
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 Clear, no? Is equals to DM1 and data equals to DM2. So DM1 data set. Okay. Now. Also, we can subset the data and we can append. Okay. How we can subset the data means, first suppose here when you are joining the data, what is happening? All the data from DM2 is joining to the DM1, right? So all the data from the transaction data set is joining to the master data set, right? But we don't want to join all the data from the transaction data set. So whatever data that is there in transaction data set, okay, whoever's age is greater than 35, only that data we want to join to the master data set, okay? We don't want to join all the data, but whoever's age is greater than 35, only that data we want to join. In that case, we can make use of the where option, okay? So right here, where, okay, equals to age greater than or equal to, like if you want age greater than 35, okay, enforce. Now run this program. So that now it will join from DM2, whoever's age is greater than 35, only that data it will join to the master data set, okay. Run this program. Open DM1. See, now it is not joining all the data. Whoever's age is greater than 35, only that data it is joining. Okay. Clear? So are you okay with
Yes, sir.
tracking, interleaving and appending?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the next one is update statement. Update and modify are the next two statements that we'll see. No. Next one is update. Coming to this update. Okay. Coming to this update. For suppose you want to update one dataset data by using another dataset data. Okay. Other dataset data. Then we can do that by making use of the update statement. Okay. So the syntax will be data. Okay. Whichever data set data that you want to update, that you call as the master data set. Okay. And some data set name. Next one. Update. By making use of the update statement, you will update. Okay. Update. Which data set data that you want to update, that you call as master data set. Okay. Then which by using which data set data you will update the master data set, that you call as the transaction data set. Okay. Transaction dataset data. Next. So when you are referring to two particular datasets, you should have a common variable, right? Or else how do you refer? Okay. So by that common variable. Okay. And run. So let us take here. Let us take these two datasets. Okay. DM1 and DM2. Say here, it is 40, 42, and 40. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to update this DM2 dataset. Okay. By using what dataset data? By using DM1 dataset data we want to update. Here for 101, what is the age? 34, right? Here for 101, 40. So we want to update this 34 value with 40. Okay. Now by using what reference we are saying? Here 101 age is 34 and here 101 age is 40. So we want to update this 34 with 40. By what reference? By PID reference, right? So, which dataset data we want to update? DM2 data we want to update. That you call as the master dataset. By using which dataset data? DM1 dataset data. Okay. That you call as the transaction dataset. What is the reference variable? PID. Okay. By PID. Now run the program. Okay. Now check DM2. See, 101 age is 40. So normally the age should be 34, right? But it got updated with the value 40. So 101 age is 40. For 102 it is 42. See, we should be 36, but it is 42. For 103 there is no 103 observation in updating data set. No, 104. Instead of 40 you will have 48. See, okay. So this is how we can update the values by using another data set values. Okay. Suppose say here for 102 you have the missing data. Okay. And this is your transaction data set, right? By using this data, you are updating this data. Now, here for 101, instead of 34, you are getting 40, right? Similarly, for 102, now here you have the missing value in the transaction data set. So, this 36 should get updated with this missing value, right? Clear? So in this transaction data set, whatever age values that you have, like whatever value that you have, okay. So this master data set should get updated with that value, right?
Yes.
Yes, no? Okay. Now we'll see that how it will update, okay. So for 102, it should be the missing value after updating. Okay. Let us check whether it's the missing value or not. See, for 102, it is 36, not the missing value, okay. So by default, what it will do is, if there are any missing values in the data set, in the transaction data set, okay, then what it will do is it will leave to the same value, okay, original value. It will not update with the missing value, okay, by default. But if you want to update, then you have to make use of the option called update mode equals to no missing check. Okay. Update mode equals to no missing no missing check. Now you run this program. Now it will update with missing value. Update mode equals to no missing check. Okay, here whenever we use by statement, we have to sort the data, no? Okay, here here we no need to sort the data because it is already in order only, no? By PID. So we no need to. But normally when you use by statement in any program, you have to sort the data. Okay, make sure that. Update mode equals to no missing check. Did I write the spelling correct? Yeah. Make sure the data set is closed. Okay, see, now it got replaced with the missing value. Okay, clear about update statement?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the next one is modify. Okay, coming to this modify, if you want to modify this data set, okay, then we can make use of this modify statement. We'll take this DM2. Okay, now. So here I want to create a new variable. Okay, for this DM2 I want to create a new variable. So you can make use of the modify statement. Modify which data set you want to modify? DM2, right? Modify DM2. Okay. Here how you want to modify? So here I want to create. See here the age value is what? 34, right? So I want to increase the age value by 5. Okay. So which is nothing but age equals to age plus 5. So here what variable you are modifying? Age value you are modifying. Okay. And run. That's it. Okay. Run the program. So here 34, right? So 34 will become as 39. Open DM2. See 41, 43, 45, 30. Okay. So 25 become 30, 40 become 45. Okay. So like this we can modify the dataset. Also we have one more method to modify the dataset. Okay. So instead of using modify, you can make use of the set statement also. Okay. Set age equals to age plus 5. You can choose any method. Now suppose say if you want to modify this age variable values, but by making use of the other data set variable, you want to modify this variable. Okay. Here let us take this data set. Okay. DM1 let us take. Okay. So you want to modify this age variable. Let us say this is age 1 and this is age 2. Okay. Or else this is age 1 and this is age 2. Okay. Now you want to modify this age 2 value, but how you want to modify is the resultant value should be age 1 value. So what is the present age 2 value? 34, right? So age 2 plus age 1. That should be the resultant value. Okay. So modify which dataset variable you want to modify? DM2, right? So dataset name is DM2. Modify which dataset you want to modify? DM2. By using which dataset variable you want to modify? DM1. Okay. Right here DM1. Okay. Age equals to, so you want to modify which variable in DM2? Age 2 value. Okay. How you want to modify? Age 2 equals to, the resultant value should be the sum of this age 2 plus age 1. Okay. So right here. Okay. Sum of this age 2 plus age 1. That should be the resultant value. So right here age 2 plus age 1. Okay. So here, since the plus will not work that good, so you have to use the option sum. Okay, sum of age 1 comma age 2 comma age 1 or age 1 comma age 2, anything. Okay. Open DM2. See. Okay. So when you are referring to two different variables, you have to tell to SAS, right, by using what variable it has to refer. So here you are saying for 101 it is 34 and here 101 40. So this 34 plus 40, that should be the resultant value, right? So but it is taking what variable reference? PID. So by PID. Okay. By DM2. See 74, 59, 30, 88. Okay. Clear?
Yes.
Yes, no? Okay. So this is about modify. Okay. Yeah, and one more thing. Here in modify statement we are using by statement, right? In with modify statement, if you are using by statement, if you sort the data or if you don't sort the data, that's not a problem. But in any other programming, if you are using by statement, make sure you are sorting the data by that variables. But when you are using modify statement, if you sort the data by that variables or if you don't sort the data, that's not a problem. Okay. Only exception for modify statement.